Abu Fayyad from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum, Abu Fayyad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have one question regarding this udhiya. To offer the udhiya for this Eid al-Adha, is it allowed to offer the udhiya in the name of people who have passed away from this world, for example, parents and grandparents? If it is allowed to offer udhiya for the deceased people, we have to distribute into 3 parts, and for the poor people, relatives, or all the meat has to be distributed to the poor.
So obviously you're asking about al-udhiyah, right?
Hello?
You're asking about al-udhiyah.
This is sacrifice.
Yes, al-udhiyah.
The sacrifice what we give during the Eid.
Yeah.
The second question is regarding there's a practice in India that some people offer this sacrifice or al-udhiyah in the name of Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is there any reference or is it valid?
Okay. Jazakallahu khairan. Thank you so much. Al-udhiyah is an emphatic sunnah for those who can afford it, to slaughter a sheep or any of the cattle, a cow or a camel. For a camel or a cow, 7 people in a camel can have shares, 7 shares among 7 people, and that would be sufficient for them. But for a family, the least is to slaughter a sheep. What we say is, this is on behalf of the family father and those who are under his guardianship, if they can afford it. So it is not on behalf of those who passed away. But a person may give in a charity or feed the poor or slaughter an independent or a separate sheep or a cattle or whatever, or buy meat and distribute it and give the reward of this charity to the deceased. Grant or give this reward as a gift to the deceased. Because the charity, its reward reaches the dead person if you intend so, whether out of his wealth or out of your own wealth. As far as giving the udhiyah on behalf of the Prophet ﷺ, you don't have to. Similarly, it is not prescribed to perform Hajj or Umrah on behalf of the Prophet ﷺ. Why? Simply because every good deed that we do, every single good deed that we do, whether it's a fard or nafl, prayer or charity or whatever, a similar reward of this good deed which is done by every believer reaches the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because he's the greatest guide. وَالدَّالُّ عَلَى الْخَيْرِ لَهُ أَجْرُ فَاعِلِهِ. So if an individual who's an ordinary person, when he guides somebody to something good and he starts practicing that thing, he gets rewarded for that, and also the person who guided him gets a similar reward without diminishing the reward of either one of them. So the Prophet ﷺ gets a similar reward of every believer for every good deed they do. So do not worry yourself about giving Hajj or Umrah or Udhiyah on behalf of the Prophet ﷺ. Rather worry about yourself. And of course you need to keep in mind, even though it's a good idea and it sounds great and it shows how much you love the Prophet ﷺ, but no one can compete with the companions of the Prophet ﷺ with regards to loving him, loving the Prophet ﷺ. And none of them have done anything like that simply because it was not prescribed. Thank you, Abu Fayyad from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.